Oh Lord.
Well, good evening, all. Good evening. Thank y'all for coming on this evening to Tony Talks. And this is the Life After Divorce segment. Today's segment is on relationship expectations. So, this one is going to be a
Mm.
good one. Relationship expectations after divorce. Because I got some questions about, you know, expectations because they can be one way prior to divorce and then after they may be different, right? So we have our guest here. They're monthly guests. They come on every month. Okay. And so who wants to go first? I'm about to add Terry on in. So who would like to introduce themselves first? I like to do introductions because I know we come on once a month, but people need to know y'all. And you never know who may want to reach out to y'all because y'all all got something to add to somebody, right? So, who would like to go first? Hello, Terry.
Let Terry go. Terry can go first. She got on a new sombrero.
He's back. Oh, first of all, let me say thank you, Rich, for joining us. We sent out and still are sending out our condolences to you,
Thank you.
for the
Thank
loss
you.
of your mom. Your
Thank you.
beautiful mom, and we know you are still healing and grieving, and that's a process. So thank you for coming on. Okay, so who wants to go first? Terry?
Hello, everybody. I'm Terry, Terry McKnight. I am from the Louisiana area, and I am a candle maker. And it's been a pleasure being on this show with Tony Talks. And I'm enjoying every minute of it. And I'm just hoping that everybody who's joining us benefit from it.
Okay, thank
All
you.
right, I'll go next. I'm Mac. I'm from Chicago, but I'm trying to grow a business, so I live in Atlanta half time. So if you are looking for cleaning needs or interior decorating, I'm in both places. So reach out to me.
I'm next.
You're last.
I'm Rich. I'm from Illinois. I don't know what else to say.
What
I'm here.
you
Mm.
want to bring Crystal on for a quick intro?
No, Crystal doing what she doing right now. So
Oh,
yeah, she
okay.
helping. She helping her daughter with a science. I mean a project. I'm sorry. So yeah, a nursing project. I'm sorry. Yeah,
Okay. So
yeah.
we're gonna jump right on in because this one could go a little long, but we're gonna go just for the hour. Expectations. So what is your definition of expectations? Um, and keep it to like relationships. What would be your definition of expectations?
To
Y'all
me,
know, just jump right on in.
to me, expectations are a set of parameters or boundaries, and as you expect someone to interact within a relationship.
Okay.
I'm going to say, I guess, things that you want to see in a person,
Mm-hmm.
things that you want to see happen, and things that you are not looking to see happen. So, yeah, something like that.
Okay.
Good answer. Good answer, ladies. Good answer. Uh, I'm gonna mix it up a little bit. Expectations, I believe, are different depending on the individuals. Because some people's expectations may be totally different, whether it's male, female, than the other person's So I think you have to clearly define what the expectations are, because everybody don't have the same rules and regulations in their, you know, relationships
So
per
you're
se.
saying technically expectations to you are rules and regulations.
It's pretty much what it come down to.
Okay.
Yeah. I
Well,
don't feel that it should be like that, but a lot of people, you know, you got to set standards and boundaries and all that type of stuff. You know, you think when you grown, you would pretty much know how to maneuver with another person, but that's not necessarily the case. Some people like cursing each other out. They think that's cute. So you have to find out the individual and how they roll.
okay. So talk a little bit about that when you said you don't think when you're grown. I mean, because when you're grown and you go to a job, there's still expectations, right? So why you think when you're grown, you, shouldn't have to have those?
I don't think I said you shouldn't have to have them. You should almost know it's certain things you should be doing in a relationship. You shouldn't have to tell somebody not to call you out your name,
Mhm.
but people do it. You know, I think some things we think come along. I think that's why you have to check people's backgrounds of things that they've been a part of and understand they could like something that's very much toxic.
Mhm. That is
Every,
true.
you know what I'm saying? So that's why I say I mentioned grown because you would think as you get older, certain things wouldn't keep happening. But I've also learned if it keeps happening, it's something that maybe you're bringing to the situation for it to keep occurring as
Hmm.
well.
Yes. And there's a lot of grown people, but that are children,
Oh
right?
yeah, yeah,
Gr-
oh yeah, yeah,
Children in grown bodies. So
yeah, exactly.
that's the
Mhm.
need for expectation. So dictionary says they are standards. To me, an expectation is like what you need or what you are looking for in that relationship. Things that almost like deal breakers, non-negotiables, things that you're not willing to accept less than, right? My expectation, we'll get into that in a minute. So yeah, what you're willing to deal with, what you're not, what are your core value standards, things like that. So first question, which one I want to ask first? Um, have your expectations changed since your divorce? So this is a three-parter. If they have, then give like specifics, right? So we can see they were this before, and now I notice that they are like this. And if you didn't have any expectations, I mean, some people don't have a lot of expectations, right? Maybe I didn't have a lot of expectations, but after my divorce, then I had a lot of expectations. So talk about that. Have they changed?
I would say that mine have so prior to divorce, I guess I had one set of expectations. I was definitely far younger, so you think differently when you're young. Um, but I didn't have to. I had some standards, definitely some standards and some rules and some. But it was then with him, it was easy in a lot of ways. But now going into dating, my standards and boundaries and what is it expectations are probably my expectations might be too unrealistic, and maybe that's why I'm purposefully single. um because just what's out here, or at least what I've run into, and what Rich kind of just said, maybe if what I've run into is maybe it's my issue. Maybe I'm doing something that's attracting. So my expectations have changed drastically in the sense that I'm not putting up with a whole lot of stuff. Just don't have time for it.
Hmm. And I don't want y'all on this question to be specific because we got another question for that, right? If you're saying an expectation, well, my expectation is Don't give a specific. We'll go into that in a minute. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. So change drastically. Yeah. I'll go into that after everybody answers. Okay. Who wants to go next? Have your expectations changed since divorce?
Yes, they have changed. They altered several different ways, I guess. And I don't know, you say you don't want us to really go into the other part of it. I'm just noticing some things that were in my marriage that I think were good, and then they were I guess I wanted some changes to be made to that. But now I'm seeing, as now you're, going on a date or something, and you're looking at it from a whole nother aspect, because now it's like, wait, hold on. You thought you wanted this to be like that, and then maybe it's just coming out the wrong way. And you're like, nah, that's just too much. This is just not, no, it's not.
Okay. So are you saying you're asking for something and
Well, you say don't give the example, so it's kind of hard not to say it without.
then okay, so they have changed. They have changed
You have
since
changed. Yes.
prior to. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they're still changing.
Okay. What's causing them to still change?
Well, like I said, because I saw it in one light, and then all I'm gonna say is be specific. Take time to really think about what you want and what do you want, how do you want it displayed? Because you can pray for a thing and say, Lord, let this thing shift to XYZ way. And then when it come that way, you like, nah, wait, hold on. Was it gonna be like that if it came that way? It's like a lot. Yeah.
I kind of get. I think I get what you're saying. Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay, Reg. You want me to ask the question again?
Yeah, I almost forgot. Um, expectations. I
Have
don't
they
know.
changed since your divorces?
I don't even know what expectations I had in my marriage, so I can't really.
Hmm.
I'm kind of. It don't take much for me. It's really uh respect is something I look at. If we're not respecting each other, other than that, I think
Said,
most
do
things.
not be specific.
Oh, I'm sorry. I must have turned my head when you said that. I'm sorry. All right, I'm done. I'm done.
So you're saying you didn't have expectations in your first marriage or your marriages?
I did. That's what I just mentioned. What my expectation was. What- I can't talk about it because you said don't be specific. So we'll go to the next question. I did have expectations.
Okay.
Now, what my expectation was might not have been Tony's. Mac. She Mac now. I thought she was Cheryl, but I guess she Mac. Uh, Mac. She a Mac now, I guess. And then Terry. Yeah, you blew me with that one. I'm like Mac. Ain't her name Cheryl? But anyway,
Cheryl Mack. That's my name.
yeah. Oh, okay. That's
He's
what
back, ain't
it say Mac up there.
That's what it is.
That's what you
That's what
telling the
it is.
guys now. I'm Mac.
No,
I'm
I've
Mac.
always that's just what's
Oh,
been.
that's what you say. Okay, I got you. I
Yeah.
got you. So y'all go on to the next question. I'm quiet.
Okay. He back in full force, right?
He
He's
making
Uh
up for lost
he's
time.
yeah, right. He said, I'm gonna get y'all, he gonna get me because I was him last time. Um, okay. So what are some of your top expectations versus what you saw prior to your divorce, right? So now expectations are, but when you were in your marriage or dating before your marriage, you said that they were different. So how did they change? What were they? Now you can be specific, right? What are your specific expectations? Top, let's say 3.
Well, I'm gonna say one of the things is, I don't know if it was necessarily an expectation or if it's, to me, was understood type of thing, but I know that like in my marriage, my husband really didn't say anything on nothing. He didn't really, whatever you did was fine, wherever you went was fine. He just didn't have a whole lot to say on anything. I don't know if that was just, that's just laid back personality, but he just really didn't like comment much on anything. He just, and I was like, well, this or well, that. And he just really didn't say a whole lot on things. And even if something, I mean, you could tell by his behavior if he didn't like something, maybe, or something like that, but he wasn't specifically saying, like me, I'm very vocal. So you're going to know if I don't like something, you're going to know if this is not what I want to do or whatever, because I'm just saying it. So he wasn't really that kind of person. He was more, like I say, just, I guess, laid back. So, and then I'm noticing now, in this dating arena that some people, they just say, they question everything, they say everything, they just do a lot. And I'm just like, I say stuff about what I don't like, but I mean, I'm not a person who's kind of like a nagging person. So I don't know if that's going from like being, somebody who says nothing to somebody who says too much. Like it's like, that's not what I meant. I don't want a person that's just super clingy, and I don't want a person that's naggy, because I'm a person who, as a business person, you tend to be around other people, you move around a lot, you communicate with both sex a lot. So whoever you be with is definitely going to have to be a person who can handle you in those different arenas. And you're going to try to make it as comfortable for them in your arena, because you have to talk to this person, do this and do that. But sometimes a person saying something, if they feel something, then true enough, say it, but don't let it become like a nagging situation. So I'm feeling like, it's going from somebody's quiet to somebody that's just crazy or saying too much. Maybe I shouldn't say crazy, saying something about everything. And that's not what I meant. That's not what I'm asking for, you know. Say how you feel, true enough, but not to where it feels like it's irritating or nagging.
Okay, so your expectation is what then for him?
My expectation is to communicate, but I don't know, some people, I'm gonna just give an example of a Facebook post, right? So say maybe I haven't called you today or I haven't talked to you today, but based on something I saw on social media, I may have tons of questions. Why this, why that, this, that, and the other. And so now it's like everything on Facebook is not for, I guess, a whole bunch of confrontation, maybe. That's just like us having this talk right now, okay? And then you may say something and you may get off, and your husband may say, well, Tony, what you was talking about? And you're like, oh, we just laughing and talking. Well, he may not say nothing. He may understand, well, we're just talking. It's just whatever. And I say whatever. It's not nothing to make it like a big old shebang about it,
Mm-hmm.
you know? So I'm expecting someone to be able to understand the arena and be able to, where we can just bounce off each other and roll with it. Not everything is something to be discussed because it's not a problem or issue. You're making it a problem or issue when it's not.
Okay, so your expectation is for him to kind of be able to go with the flow.
Yes.
So that worked with your ex-husband because he was a go with the flow guy.
He can go with the flow. The only thing is, and I love that. I love that about him, that he could go with the flow. He can step into any arena and he can mix in the crowd and he can blend, and it's just when things did bother him, I do want you to say that it bothered you, because I don't want you to feel uncomfortable or feel like you're being left out, or your concerns are not a concern of mine. But I don't want it to be where it's like it's a nagging situation.
Okay. So your top 3 expectations would be what?
Don't nag me.
No nagging,
No whining.
no whining.
Just be, just say what you gotta say. And let it go.
You said say what you have to say.
Mhm. And make it make sense.
Okay.
Say what you have to say and make it make sense.
Okay. Okay. So is that different than your expectations prior to your marriage?
Well, I'm gonna kind of piggyback off of what Rich is saying. Some things you think it's gonna be a certain way because you're dealing with someone who you're thinking is on a mature level based on their age. I was just telling somebody the other day, act your age and not your shoe size, you know. And people laugh about that, but it's so true. But then again, what I think is something you should already know as an adult, it's not necessarily that way. Just like he says, some people, they curse when they talk all of the time. I don't like that. I don't want nobody cursing at me, and I prefer you not even curse when you're in conversation with me, because now it's too comfortable. And then it goes from that to something else. But again, some people, that's just their ordinary way of their verbiage. That's just how they talk to each other, and they cuss each other out all the time and they think nothing of it. But that's not the way I roll. The same thing too with some people, they get together in a relationship and it's automatically, we go together now. I sleep at your house, you sleep at my house. Well, I'm not having nobody come and sleep at my house. And that's just me. But everybody deals with it differently. Some people, it's understood. We go together now. You sleep by me, I sleep by you. We sleep by each other. You know, we going together now. Even we dating, we trying to get to know each other. Well, we trying to get to know each other. We should be having sex. We should be sleeping together. I should be getting some. You should be taking care of me. Some people, that's just like, that's how they roll. It's just what we doing. And then somebody else, you're like, wait, hold on. We just started talking. We sleeping together already. You think I'm supposed to bring all my clothes to your house? It's like everybody thinks differently. So you do have to kind of put it out there like, no, that's not what I'm doing. I'd rather do it like this and da da da, or this is how I've done it. So, yes.
Okay.
So you do need to kind of put your expectations out there to the person to make sure that y'all even on the same page out the gate. Because if not, later on, it will manifest into something totally different because they're understanding it one way and you're understanding it another way.
Mm-hmm. And y'all, all of y'all are welcome to ask each other questions if y'all would like, right? If something comes up in your head, because this is all I want to say a think tank, right? So I may not see something just because I'm the host. Y'all may see something and be like, right? I want to ask this question or whatever to whoever. Okay. Okay. Who wants to go next with your top expectations? And are those expectations, those top 3 expectations, different from the expectations you had prior to your divorce or divorces?
I'll
Well,
go.
you did have
Um,
divorces, right?
Hey,
not
you
me.
ain't you ain't gotta say it. You ain't gotta say it with a little aggression in your divorces. Go ahead, Max. Go ahead. You can talk. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, for me, my top 3 are: he must be a man of his word. He must be not a liar. Oh,
So
okay.
honest.
Yeah, honest, man of his word. And oh, why am I drawing a blank? Uh This is I can't believe it, and this is one of my top ones. I'm gonna keep talking, and it's gonna come to me for some reason. So in my marriage, these weren't issues for me.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have these issues. Um. Oh, and he can't be cheap. Oh, I hate a cheap man. Something about a cheap man.
So he can't be cheap.
He cannot be cheap. He cannot be um dishonest, and he must keep his word. If he says something, he needs to be a man of his word or a
Okay.
man of integrity.
Mm-hmm.
And I say all of that to say because in the dating pool now, and I'm not pointing at all, I'm pointing at some that I have encountered because I am I'm the common denominator. So some of those guys that I selected, not all, because I had a couple of good ones, or at least in that aspect, in this aspect, but those things are big for me because there's a lot of people out here, even women, who don't move in that same fashion. And I like to move with people just in my everyday life. If I am going to have you in my life, if it's dating or if it's a relationship where we're moving to something, then I want people who move in that fashion.
Mm-hmm. So you saying that yours were the same? These were the same as before?
I'm
Your
saying no lying. My expectation lying. I never even thought about lying. I guess when I was younger, I don't know, because that's not something that I really encountered. I dated only a few people, and then I ended up getting into a super serious relationship and ended up marrying him. So lying has become, yeah. So what's different is lying is major, and cheap is major for me. And it's not like that I want a man to spend all his money on me, but there are some men who make sure that they take care of themselves, in the sense that they could go and I dated a guy who, and this is a reflection of me. He made sure that we could go eat, but it was where he wanted to go eat. But he never minded spending no matter how much money it was. But it was all about him. So if he wanted something, we could do it. But if it was something that I wanted, oh baby, I don't have the money right now because I have this little issue or this problem going on right now. But that's being cheap to me, in the sense that because he had the money, he just chose not to spend it on me. Once again, so I wasn't really, when I cook it all down, I wasn't the woman for him. So I wasted or spent a lot of time. I just was in a different place at the time. Now I can see it so clearly, like, what was I thinking? What was I doing? What? But so at the time, I just, was in a bad space. Much better space right now, but in a space where I still want to be single to work it all out and just deal with me. It's easier to just deal with me.
That's a whole nother segment, but okay.
It is. It is. Yes.
Okay, Rich. Your top 3 expectations now, and then are those the same as before? We'll take one divorce, since you don't want me to say divorce is.
We do too. It's okay. I'm a man about mine.
Well, that's what I
All
thought.
right.
But then
I
when I
know.
said
I
divorces, there
was,
was an issue. So I
I
don't
was
understand.
joking. It's
Yeah.
Tony. It's jokes. You gotta get me back into the groove of all this type of stuff. It's been a minute.
Okay.
Terry, thank you for your dissertation earlier about your expectations. Matt,
It's so silly.
Matt, you say he took you to the places he wanted to go. What place you want to go? To Heroes? I always say people too good for Heroes Chicken with a Mystic. Uh, it's food.
No, no, no. I'm not the person that's not going to a cheesecake factory. I'm real easy. I'm real smooth. All of that. All of that.
Oh,
But what I'm
okay.
saying is, when it
Hmm.
comes, I'm gonna say cheap in the sense that, so when it came to his birthday, I knew, because I listen to people. I pay
Okay.
attention. So
Okay.
I don't just watch and say, "Hey, babe, where you want to go for your birthday?" I already knew where you want to go for your birthday because you've talked about this place. You said this, so you mentioned that. So I'm very thoughtful. So I'm gonna think it out. When it came to my
Okay.
birthday, what was the thought? Right now, oh, I had this gambling addiction, so I got to deal with this.
Ah.
So it was a whole bunch of excuses, and it was just being cheap. It was a lot of cheap stuff, but I dealt with
Now,
it.
how long y'all date? And then I'm gonna get Tony. I get back to you. We trying to figure this out real quick.
So it was an off and on thing. I didn't learn my lesson the first time, the second time, and I did the third time. So,
you really liked him, huh?
I did.
3 times?
And he didn't deserve it. I had
I
to
know.
reflect. Yeah, I did. So off
Yeah.
and on, it was for 8 years. It was over a
Oh
span.
my.
So the first time might have been 2 years. Then we, for whatever reason, then we might have got later on, came back and was together for 3 years. And
What
then
did you like about him, or can you share that? I don't. If you
when I
can't
look back,
share,
when I look
peer
back
friendly show.
now, when I look back now, nothing. At the
Really?
time where I was at, oh my goodness. Yeah, without going into too much about him, because it's really not nothing about him, but giving out all
He
his
liked to
business.
eat. He liked to eat. That's a good
garbage.
thing. I like
He was a garbage dude.
He was garbage. For 8 years, he was trash.
He was trash. And so that means I liked trash, apparently.
Wow, you like trash. Okay.
I did at the time.
Okay. Well, as long as you don't like trash,
I'm definitely
that's
honest.
good. Yeah.
I thought I was in a healthy place, but I realized I couldn't have been to have selected him.
Okay. I got you.
And I'm just not going to be I don't know, this book, April Sinclair, not going to be the same fool twice. Not doing that again. And even now, I clean for a living, and I still clean for the gentleman. And he's still trying to but never in life. I don't care what situation occurs. I don't care. It wouldn't matter. Nothing matters, because now I'm wiser, and I'm just not going to go through it again. So I learned. If he didn't do anything else, he taught me.
Wise and stronger, like Marvin Sapp. That's good. Terry. So I was gonna piggyback off something you said. Thank you, Mac. When you were talking about if they curse a lot. So my mentality is let people be who they are. So if they do curse a lot and I don't like that, at least I know, because I want the person to feel comfortable. That's how I dated until I met Crystal. Even with her, I want you to be comfortable, like be who you are, because then I know who you don't give me your representative. I don't like that. Like if you don't brush your teeth, I'm gonna know after a while that you don't brush your teeth regularly. That's just what it is. Don't try to front like you brush your teeth. I'm just saying things like that. So here we go with my 3.
Well, hold on.
Okay.
Okay. You said you were said about Terry, like, okay, them cursing. She just said, like, that's not somebody
that she won't, right?
But allowed to be. She saw it evidently, right? They cussed
right. But I'm saying, okay, let me clarify. I'm not saying what she's saying is anything wrong. I think a lot of times we come to situations telling people what we don't want. Me, be who you are. If you on drugs, I'm gonna find out you on drugs. I'm not gonna tell you, I don't like this. Your wig stink. If your wig stink, I'm gonna smell your wig eventually. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, don't try to spray cologne, perfume, Febreze your wig. Be who you are, and then I make the decision if I want to deal with a stinky wig. That's all I'm saying. Be who you are. Yeah, that's all I'm saying.
Okay, that comes. You're saying, show up who you are. Right.
If I got bars of soap on my sink put together, that's what you're gonna see. I'm not gonna. People will clean up, and then what it's called is you present a facade. People say you're representative. I don't tell people what I do and don't want at the beginning, because I want to see who you are. Period. So and then I can go from So I'm gonna name my 3, since this is a friendly show. People are watching.
Be respect. You, right? You just
I am. But I got many different things, so I'm gonna nail it down to these 3 right here.
Okay.
Don't be trying to call me out because I ain't been on here. Now let me get to the 3 that I'm gonna nail down: respect, communication, sense of humor. Okay. Because if you can't laugh, Go ahead.
what do those mean, right? Because those
What
are
do you-
broad terms.
Okay.
Respect, right? And we know men value on the whole, right? Studies say
Uh-huh.
men value
Mhm.
respect. They don't
Yeah.
need to be told that you love them. Respect, if you love them, you will respect them. So
This is true.
what does that mean? Right. Respect, what you say? Respect. I'm off
Communi-
work.
Communication.
Right. So
Communication, effective communication, whatever that looks like
that's why I'm
to
asking you.
people. Hmm. And a sense of
Humor.
humor. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, be able
Okay.
to laugh somewhat. Mhm.
Okay.
Mhm.
So respect, what is that? As a man, from a male perspective, what does that look like?
Respecting his train of thought, what he's thinking. We don't necessarily have to agree, but don't negate what he's thinking because you think different. We two different people. We two different genders. So I'm gonna respect what you say. I won't even say agree to disagree. Just respect each other and hopefully maybe come to a middle ground. No name calling. Never should be. Uh, I'm just saying as a male, I'm not one of those, oh, it's my way or no way. Nah, I'm never. I didn't see that growing up with my parents, first and foremost, and then that's just not me. Let's talk about it, which leads to the communication part. Because if we respect each other enough, we're gonna effectively communicate. Meaning we can have a disagreement. We can have an argument. People always, I don't argue. Like I hate that. I hate this whole thing in this gender. I don't argue. People argue. That's normal. You two different people is how you argue. Which goes back to respectfully talking to each other. It's okay to be upset. It's okay to be angry. Even the Bible say be angry and sin not. That's biblical. But I won't go into that because Terry started preaching. If I go into that, she'll pull out a Bible on the set. But
Let me
yeah,
touch on something you said real quick though.
sure.
Just because you respect somebody does not mean you said it leads to effective communication. That's not necessarily true.
Okay.
Right. Because some people don't know how to communicate, but they may know how to be respectful.
This is true.
Yeah, that's something, and believe me, I see it tons of times. Like, they respectful, but they don't know how to effectively communicate. So that's a lot of times a learned behavior. To learn how to effectively communicate. You didn't see it in your household. You didn't see it. Nobody modeled that for you. So it's something that has to be taught a lot of times.
But it's part of the reason we don't effectively communicate is because we respond before we listen to what the person is saying. We already have in our mind because I think that's effective. To me, it ain't always about let me get my point across. Sometimes it's let me listen. Let me respect what you're saying. And maybe if I can understand what you're saying, I respect how you feel, then it might get me to look at things from a different perspective rather than this is just how I think. Like when people be like, this is just me. I get what you're saying. People don't know how to effectively communicate. A lot of times it's because maybe people not listening. What do they say? You listen to respond instead of listening to understand. That's true.
Mm-hmm.
You so ready, you're defensive. I had to learn that. Like, don't just respond because maybe it's something you didn't want to hear. Listen to what they're saying. They actually could be helping you out, but you're so defensive, and we all can be a part of that. So that's effective communication to me. Not okay, you got an issue, so now I got an issue from 15 years ago. No, you should have told me 15 years ago. Now all of a sudden, now we arguing about stuff we should have discussed 15 years ago because you don't want to hear me tell you something or vice versa. So now we're not communicating properly.
Mm-hmm.
And so then that trickles down. There's a trickle down effect. I tell me and Crystal say it all the time. If you got something to say, just be honest. Whether I want to hear it, vice versa, at least I know that you're being honest with me and vice versa. Don't tell me 2 years from now something you could have told me 2 years ago, because now it's going to be that back and forth, at least to me. Learning how to communicate, learning the style of communication, even with that person, because everybody is different. You have to learn the individual. Mac, Y'all should have been going to Heroes Chicken. You should have communicated you like Hero Sharks. Instead, you got him taking you to wherever y'all going. Because apparently you didn't tell him you a mystic in a 6-wing dinner, mild and hot was cool for you. So y'all didn't
Salt, pepper,
communicate that.
salt, pepper, mild on the side.
Okay, whatever. However you do your chicken. However you do your chicken. Yeah. And then sense of humor. Sense of humor. You gotta laugh. You
Yeah.
gotta. I can't be with no stick in the mud. That's just not me. But I grew up in there too. We laughed a lot. So a lot of things come from maybe how you. Actually, my dad is in a comedy show tomorrow. He's doing comedy. I don't know. I need to talk to him, make sure his jokes gonna hit right. But at any rate, yeah, you got to be able to laugh because if you don't, what I can't be serious like that all the time. That's just not me. But everybody different.
So
Sometimes opposites attract.
do you
Well, a lot of
lie
times.
behind your sense of humor? Like they're like, instead of really discussing something, sometimes you say something funny instead of really, being direct with it.
Let me ask. Hold on, Crystal. Do I do that? Hide behind my sense of humor, or do I have to communicate? She said, "I say what's on my mind."
Okay. Because
But that's the
I'm
type of
just asking.
situation we talk like that. In prior situations, I might have because I felt like I couldn't necessarily tell them the truth without them being defensive. To your point, so you have to find somebody that you're able to openly communicate with. Now I joke all the time. We joke, but we talk about stuff too. So it depends on the person. So Mac, you hear me? If he take you wherever he want to take you, you learn from that 8-year situation. No, I want to go to Portillo's tonight. Okay. I'm just saying you got to speak up, communicate, effectively communicate. Terry, tell them you be in your word all the time. I don't want to hear all these curse words. We got to all effectively communicate, help each other out. That's all I'm saying.
Oh boy.
I mean, I
So
have experienced that, but I
Mm-hmm.
would use that as an example,
Yeah.
But
I'm just messing with you. I'm just messing with you. Yeah.
well, hey, no, we're not going there. I won't go there.
Yeah.
I want this.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just what happens. So
okay. So now with these top 3, right? Do y'all think that would be deal breakers if they didn't meet those? How flexible are you with your, expectations?
I'm not flexible on mine.
Okay, so those 3, a man of his word, honest, can't
And
be.
a good communicator.
Well, you only got 3.
That was the other. That was.
You said a man of his word.
Yep. Oh,
You
cheap.
said
Lying.
honest,
A lying.
and then he can't be cheap.
And he can't be a liar. So you're right. Yeah, I'm not flexible because I'm not dealing with that. I don't come with it. And if you're the man, I expect for you to lead. Give me something to want to follow. If you can't do those 3, if you can't do those basic things, then what would I want to be in a relationship with you for? Where am I going to follow you? You couldn't lead me at work if I had worked at a job and you had those qualities. So I'm not going to follow someone like that. So no, it's a deal breaker.
Okay, so not flexible with those 3. Okay,
Not at all.
what about you, Terry?
no.
So no nagging.
I mean,
No.
I just cannot deal with a nagging person. I can't deal with somebody I can't do that.
Okay.
I need you to be able to effectively communicate, meaning say what you have to say and then let that be. Don't keep on something because now it's irritating me, it's nagging me, and I do not want to live like that.
And Rich, the 3, respect, effective communication, and sense of humor are those deal breakers if they can't be met.
So I heard a question just posed. Well, Crystal asked because she could hear. Are those expectations or non-negotiables? Because that's a little bit different, ain't it?
No. It's an expectation, right? That's what I said. Expectation is a standard. Deal breakers are Absolutely not. I wouldn't have to ask if it was a deal breaker, right?
What,
Because
what Cheryl said something different. She said you shouldn't be dealing with no cheater anyway. But let me talk about mine. We get back to
but
everybody.
what?
What I say about a cheater? Where that
Right.
come
She
from?
didn't say no cheating.
What you say? I thought
She
she said he
said
can't
a
cheat or
man of his,
cheap.
She
Cheap.
said,
It sounded like cheap.
Cheap.
yeah.
CHEAP.
See, I wasn't listening. You see, I wasn't listening. I'm sorry. Put
And
that
that
off
was you
on
an
me.
effective communicator, but you're not listening. So how you not
No, it sounded like you
listening?
said cheap.
And you're an
It sounded like
effective
you said cheap.
communicator.
I
I
thought you
didn't hear that
said
part.
cheap. It did
cheap.
sound like tea. Yeah, I forgot. You said cheap. So heroes wouldn't work for you anyway. Anyway, why
I
you
like
trying to
Harold,
call
the one
me
on
out?
103rd, even though they just got the
Yeah, they just somebody ran into the
I
front of it, so
know,
that's
right?
done. Yeah.
They
The one
still
that
open. They still
yeah,
open.
it's
They
other
never
one
worked
still
out.
open.
I know
Yeah.
91st and Ashland. That's the best
No,
one anyway.
I said that one is open with the boarded up wall. I kid you not.
That's because they want to make that money and people still want the chicken.
And then maybe define what cheap is when you because
Yeah.
if you go to Harold's, that's a cheap meal. Tell them you want two mystics instead of one. And then maybe you feel a little
she,
bit.
she never said she wanted to go to Harold's. You put that on her.
Oh, I'm sorry. All right, getting back to my expectations. I apologize. Uh, well, no, you can't disrespect me, and I'll be cool with that. So no, communication. You can work on that. Sense of humor. Mine's is pretty much flexible, other than the respect part.
Okay, so you do
I
have
can
some
work around that. Yeah,
flexibility in yours.
yeah.
Okay. Where did your expectations come from? Where'd you learn in life that these are my expectations in a relationship? When you think about your expectations, where did they come from? Or, i.e., how did they form?
Y'all want to go? I can go.
You can go.
Okay, I can go. Childhood dating situations. Well, most of them started out from childhood.
So give me
So,
one that
excuse me.
came from childhood, right? Talk about how it came from childhood, how you knew, oh, this came from childhood.
I feel like I'm sitting on Tony couch doing counseling session right now. But
I said I'm off work, right? But it still comes up.
yeah, it seems like work. The respect. I never seen my mother, rest her soul, disrespect my dad. I never seen my dad disrespecting my mom. At least not in front of me or my sisters. So I seen him joke, you know. I might have seen my dad get upset or my mom. Well, I didn't even really see that. So which could have hindered me too, thinking, oh, this is how our relationships are. No, that's your dad and your mom. But that's where I learned mine's from, was that the sense of humor. I seen that growing up too. I wouldn't even really say communication, because I remember one point he wrote a post-it note put on the refrigerator, so he didn't necessarily effectively communicate in that manner. But yeah, those other two definitely I learned from childhood and just dating. And sometimes you wind up attracting the opposite of what you see growing up, believe it or not, or you attract the same thing and don't even know that that you're attracting it. I've seen people attract alcoholics because maybe daddy was an alcoholic, but you didn't know he was until you found out later in life. That happens a lot. Abusers, physically abusive.
Mm-hmm.
Daddy or mama I'll say dad, was physically abusive to mom. And so now you're attracting physically abusive men. It happens, more than people care to share. So I'll be quiet. I don't want to go too
Yeah.
long. I'll be quiet.
A lot of times people don't pay attention to that. I see that so much in therapy, right? Like, I was just talking about this today, where there was trauma, right? Like, if you give me a couple, I can see how they got together. And it's not always trauma, but you can see the area where they overlap, where, oh, okay, this is how, and they could be totally opposite, but they have that thing in common, right? That hasn't been worked out in both of them. And so a lot of times you get with somebody to help you work out the thing within you. That person can help you work out that thing within you that needs to be healed. We all have areas that still need healing. So you get with somebody and then it starts coming up, right? Sometimes it's trauma bonding. So that's not a good one. But if it's healthy, it's going to be some stuff that person brings out in you. And it's because that's the area that needs to be healed. Okay. So Carrie or Cheryl, where did your expectations come from? Where did you learn them from when you think about it?
It's funny. I never thought about this until today. So I guess this is, once again, thanks, Rich. What you said, I'm sitting on the couch too, because when I reflect, I had to learn about it from childhood, because the things that I said are reflective of my father. I said, a man who got to be a man of his word. If my father said something, he did it. My father went to work. If he said that we was gone, whatever he said, we did it. My father, I said, a liar. My father was not a liar. And also, my father was not cheap. My father was very, with the whole family, with people. Even now, to this day, he's just definitely a generous person, and that's where I get my generosity from. So I guess I learned all of those things from him. That's funny. Wow.
Mhm. Terry.
I'm gonna say a lot. Some of those things that I don't want to see is from, maybe some experiences, but I also know, just piggybacking off of what Rich said, my parents were married for probably like 60 years, and I saw my dad cater to my mom. I didn't see them curse each other out. I've never heard them curse, period, ever. My dad passed at 72. My mom were together. She was 16 when they got married. He was 19. And I just saw a man that really loved the woman and took care of her and provided for her. And they communicated what they liked and didn't like. And, you kind of want that in your marriage or in your relationships. Not saying they didn't nag each other. If they did, I really didn't see it. But, growing up, I just saw what marriage to me is supposed to look like, or what a relationship should look like. And I kind of, you kind of want those things in your own life or your own marriage, whatever like that. I didn't see that nagging, but I have experienced it, you know, not so much, like I said, in my marriage, but in this new dating, you know, I'm kind of seeing it. I don't deal with it.
Okay. So I think we talked about this last time, Terry. Like, if you seeing this come up, right, what are you bringing to the table possibly that's drawing that to you?
Well, I'm gonna say I have not really experienced that so much in the past. It wasn't in my marriage, but I'm seeing it now, and I kind of think it's just who who they are, and like Rich said, in communication, you don't necessarily want to say what you're looking for because you want the person to be who they are. Then you choose if you want to be a part of who they are. And it's better that way. Let me see all of you. Don't give me a representation. Show me who you really are. And then now I know that this is not what I want to deal with. Or this is not what I want to be a part of. So I'm seeing that different things, and you can talk about it to a person because some things can be maybe rectified or changed. And then some things, they may change it just because that's what you say you want, or that's what you want to see, but that's not going to last. It won't be a longevity with that. I mean, I know it won't be.
Right. So how do you know, right, what is something that could be changeable versus not?
Well, I'm going to say this. A person can say that, this is not, oh, that just happened today. I'm not really that kind of person or whatever. So you kind of like maybe don't bring it up, don't talk about it, and just kind of notice their behavior and how they move. Because you may not be saying anything about it after it happens, doesn't mean that you're not noticing that it's happening. And then you just move accordingly, to what you see, because what you see is what it is.
Mhm. Okay. Anybody else? Any thoughts on that?
No.
Okay. How do y'all express y'all expectations? Especially like, okay, Rich, how long has it been with you and Crystal? Well, it's about because it's probably pajama matching.
Hold on. Hold on. How you gonna ask the question then? Y'all see
About
how
3
she do
months.
me? Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
3
I'm
months.
come on, I'm good like that.
Yeah, I see. I see, counselor. Um, what was the question?
So how do y'all express your expectations in the beginning? Like when you first start dating, right? So say you see something coming up, do you talk about that right away? How do you express your expectations in the beginning of dating?
You just express them. I don't know no other way. I'm kind of like straight to the point. I'm a little bit different. I don't really back backdoor you. Like, oh, I didn't know this. I kind of tell you whatever it is, expectations, non-negotiables. Go ahead. I see you ready to ask a question. Go ahead.
Yes, and I'm still listening. I was
Okay.
processing.
You was processing. Okay.
Mhm. Mhm.
No, you just stayed up front. Like I told Cheryl or Mac, whatever her name is. Like I was suggesting to her, just state your dinner expectations up front. Then you ain't got to worry about 8 months in when y'all birthdays come around and you sitting at Fridays for whatever the trio meal, whatever it is. You didn't told them up front. I mean, and you should. If people tell you stuff, and if somebody tell me what they like, you tell me you like flowers. Crystal tell me she like flowers. I don't get you flowers for 3 years. Something wrong with me. Like it shouldn't take 3 years. You telling me up front what you like, and I think that goes even as months go on. I like this. Things change. What you may have liked at the beginning, you might not like 2 years in, 4 years in. So you have to state what it is. I think that's even biblical. Make it plain. Whatever it is, tell the person.
So
Right? Keep it 100, as they say. Keep it 100. Tell me.
I question that because,
Uh-huh.
especially with women,
Uh-huh.
because if you tell that man up front certain things, right? My expectation is this, is that. For you to buy me flowers once a month. Oh, he gonna do that. Then when he gets you, if it's not really in him, that's something he may not do, right? So that's why I'm trying to determine
Okay.
how do you know when to express it? Like at what point? Because now you said earlier,
Okay, at the
Rich,
beginning. Yeah. Uh-huh. I'm
you
sorry.
said earlier though
Uh-huh.
that you want them to be able to express themselves from the
Uh-huh.
beginning, right?
Uh-huh. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, you did say that. Sorry,
Oh,
not you.
okay.
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
just
yeah.
wondering now. I did say that now. Okay.
Yes,
I
you
was
did say
wondering.
that. But
Yeah.
I'm thinking from a woman's perspective. I
And
think.
that's why it's good. It's three of y'all against me, but I can hold my own though
Well, we're
too.
not against you. I
I
mean,
know, I'm messing
yeah,
with you.
I'm
You know
speaking
I'm messing with you.
from
From a
my
woman's perspective. But I'm telling you from Rich perspective, not even from a gender thing.
yeah.
Because it's see, that's too much thinking to me. Like, okay, well, now he doing it, but he really don't want to do it. Well, if he doing it, there's a lot of things we might not want to do. I don't think my parents was married 48 years and they did everything that, oh, she want me to do this, but I really don't want to. No, it became a habit because that's just too much thinking. Like now I got to think about, oh, well, no, I don't care. If I like going to expensive restaurants and she take me once a quarter, that's just what it is. Because now we're playing a chess game. But that deals with the whole love foundation. Because I understand we emotional as people, but when you love somebody, you don't mind doing it. The flowers aren't for me, they're for her. Don't send me no flowers because they won't make it home from work. I don't want to be on the train ride with a vase in my hands. That's me. Take me to the game like Crystal did. She took me to see LeBron. He my favorite player in the game now. So I was appreciative. She liked flowers, so I get her flowers.
Mm-hmm.
It might not be every week, but I think about it. Or a card. You learn that as you talk. We always say, don't think for me, but then we want a person to think for us. No, tell me what it is you like. And then over time, I'm going to learn things because I'm paying attention to you as an individual. I'm listening.
Mm-hmm.
I like this perfume or cologne. Or, yeah, you start listening to what the person actually likes. That's me. That's how I roll. Other people are different. They do stuff based off what the ex-girlfriend like. That might have been what happened to you, Mac. He might have been doing that with the what he did with the, and not to go back to that, but now so you learn from that. Because men, to me, we kind of simple creatures. A to B. Not saying y'all complicated. I don't want to say all that, but I'm just
what
saying.
are you saying? Because
I'm saying like when he was doing it, he was stuck in his mindset of what he was doing. He wasn't gonna switch up. So that would have been when you say, you know what, I'm tired. I'm tired of going to Papa Do's because that's where you want to go to get alligator. I don't want to eat alligator tonight. I want to go to Benihana's and give me some chicken fried rice.
Right.
And if you didn't say that, he was just gonna keep doing whatever that he was doing.
Sure.
Unfortunately.
Right.
But see, that's a whole nother subject because how men and women think, of course, is different. It doesn't make one better than the other. We're just different creatures. If you put in the time to learn a person, the closer you all will become. If you're just doing stuff, you can't be in a relationship and be selfish.
Mm-hmm.
It has to be very much a level of selflessness. But you learn all this stuff in the beginning. You learn if a person is selfish or not. It don't take that long. I feel like if you're transparent, either the person gonna feel uncomfortable because they're not like that, or either they're gonna be transparent too.
I agree.
Okay. So how do y'all express y'all expectations? Do y'all do it like right up front? So, Terry, do you say, look, you whining. I don't want to hear that whining. And stop nagging me. How are you, first of all, are you still dealing with that?
She must be muted.
She is. She coming.
Yes, just like that.
Oh,
I said it.
is he still around?
Indirectly.
What does that mean?
Huh?
What does the end up he's around indirectly mean?
I'm just saying, I'm just straight up saying the nagging or the whining. I mean, I just can't do it. So I'm just kind of straightforward with, you can't be with the nagging and the whining. You gotta, come on, step it up.
Okay, so now I'm in your business. Are y'all still together? What's going on?
I'm not with anybody right now.
Okay.
So
Talk.
I'm gonna go back to when I asked earlier about
And
flexibility. I'm sorry, but I can't help it because this is what the show is about, right? When you said you're not flexible, but he's still indirectly there. How does that work?
I mean,
Good question, Tony.
you can date without commitment. You can date without commitment because you're seeing what's going on. And if you don't like what's going on, you make it known that I'm not going to settle for this right here. I can't do this right here.
So do you keep dating, or are you giving them, you're dating, trying to give them an opportunity to change behavior?
I'm not going to say so. Well, you're going to have to do something to shift your behavior because you can't whine and be around me. You can't nag and be around me. I could be your friend, but I can't be in a committed relationship with you because I know that I'm not going to proceed into anything further with this.
Real quick,
Keep
you
them
don't have a
around.
problem with being in a friendship with somebody that's a nagger?
Pardon me?
I said you don't have a problem with being in a friendship with someone that's a nagger?
I do. I just don't spend as much time. Or if the nagging is happening, then I just kind of excuse myself from the situation
Okay.
or excuse myself from the phone call, whichever it is.
Okay.
Who? It says a guest trying to come on. Okay, we're not inviting any guests right now.
Is that him? Terry, is he watching the show tonight?
Nobody's watching the show.
He watching the show. The Niagara is watching. I guess he want to join. Okay.
Oh my goodness. Okay, Terry, not to put you on the spot, right? But I mean, I think that this is what
Spot.
I wasn't trying to. Just,
Oh my God.
my mind just was like, I was like, how does that work? But that's what the show is about, right?
Yeah, the show is about being open. I'm trying to be as open as I can. Honest as I can be. Yes.
Okay. Right. Okay. So that was all the questions I had. Y'all have any questions? Any thoughts? I think it was a good one. I think Rich's pajama matcher chose that one.
All right, Crystal.
But what happened? It cut off. What did you say, Tony?
I said I think your pajama matcher chose that. Thank you, Crystal.
Let me put y'all back on mute.
Yeah, but I appreciate y'all for coming on and sharing. And sometimes things gonna come out.
Very interesting nights.
Yeah, and it just helps you to think about your stuff, right?
It does.
Too rich on at one time is a lot.
Two riches on a time. She called me rich too.
Too rich.
Oh Lord.
Y'all, woo,
Well, hey, it's about being transparent, right? So other people can grow.
Good.
That's the whole point. I told you, I said, all y'all got something that somebody needs to hear.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right. So we will be back on in March, but on Friday. Right, Rich? We're not on Thursdays.
Yeah, thank you all. I appreciate you letting me come on, invite me back in. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
You're welcome.
Pleasure.
Thanks.
All right, y'all. So thank y'all again. And I will see y'all next month. I don't know if y'all got topics. Any of the audience members have topics that y'all want to see. This is life after divorce. So it's all divorce after divorce related. And we will be glad to tackle those. All right.
All right.
Terry, tell Lanaga he can't come into our show. So don't be trying to be added as a guest to the next show. You got to tell them what it is. This is us.
Good night, Rich. It's been a pleasure. Good night, everybody.
All right. See y'all. Have a good one.
You all
Bye.
too.
God bless
Bye.
you. Good night.